Alright, so now we get to talk about glue. We've got the mold lines off this guy. He's ready to be glued down. And the cool thing about this guy especially is that, as you can see here, it's like everything kind of gets sandwiched in his chest. So there's really, like, the chest piece is going to hold like his arms, everything together. His legs are all one piece, the back's all one piece. So we get that chest piece glued in well, and the head, which is given me and probably you a lot of problems. Get the chest piece glued in, the head glued in, that's all we got to do. And this guy will be glued in. Now, that will mean that his arms are a little wobbly, wibbly wobbly, but then they're not going to pop out because they're locked in behind the chest plate. Now you can, and I'll show you, I probably will do this, just kind of touch the two like shoulder balls with some glue. That'll glue them in there. Cool thing about this plastic glue is, I mean, it just cements everything in. It's really nice stuff. And while we're on the topic of glue, let's talk about glue. All right. So you don't use this stuff. This is super glue. Now, maybe eventually we'll start using this for the resin or anything, because like nothing's made out of metal anymore. You needed this with metal, but or resin. You'll need this for resin because resin is not the same as this plastic. It's not going to work with plastic glue. And now that some GW makes their own plastic glue, I don't particularly like it that well. I've found this at the local hobby store. Works pretty well. No issues with it. It smells as bad as every other plastic cement, but this works pretty good. The only thing that I don't like is the brush is kind of big. You could see that there. It's a little big. My favorite, I was trying to find a replacement for, and I don't know who these people are. They don't pay me to say those words, and neither does Tamia. I noticed, like, this was starting to get, you might not be able to see it there, but it's kind of starting to get cloudy, and I noticed it's not cementing very well. But this is my favorite stuff right here. This extra thin, you can see the brush is nice and tiny, small, so you can really get into those cracks. But I've noticed, yeah, it's like cloudy, really weird. So I had to go order some more online, and this has just been sitting around. I haven't used it for a while because I found this stuff, but I don't like the brush. I like this brush, and this glue is very nice. The only problem is, like, both of these things really smell bad, but you get used to it. So I think I'll use this on our Warden here, just to show you what I mean by like a big brush and that kind of thing. All right, so step one is basically not lose the head or the chest piece here. Oh yes, and I need to scrape this chest piece. And I found this can help kind of like pry, get in the corner there. In the corner over here. There we go. Okay, so the chest piece is off. And you can see what I'm saying. Like those, I got a pointy stick here. The shoulder pieces, they go in those sockets. You could just like drop a little bit of cement down in there, and I'll do that in a few minutes. And that'll really lock the arms in, because they're going to wiggle around, and that might be really irritating when you're painting. So we'll set him there. See, I got a little bit of cleaning there to do. Make sure that's nice and smooth. That's the cool thing about this tool is you can like scrape both ways. And what I'll do is like I'll scrape like this way, I'll scrape that way, and if it's really stubborn, like scrape at a diagonal to what you've scraped. That really helps smooth it down and gets it nice. And you won't see this part of his ribs all that well when you're playing or anything. I think there was some points up here. Just kind of get those real quick before we cement the chest. And the head is usually, yep, his chin. Scrape one way, turn the head around, scrape the other way. Nice looking chin now. And we'll just hit his top of his head there. All right, and these are pretty handy too. I don't think I've talked about these. They're little sanding sticks made just especially for hobbying. Pretty cheap. Find them in a hobby store or your favorite online retailer or your LGS or somewhere around there. Okay, so now, oh, perfect. That's exactly what we needed. We need to take this apart because what we're going to do, see these pegs? And now, told you not to ever use one of these X-Acto blades, but you have to if you're going to want to glue these down. So, I mean, if you've not used a hobby knife before, I suggest practicing so you don't cut yourself. They are fairly dangerous. But what I usually do is take just a little shaving off of the peg. So this peg for the chest and this peg for the head, I'll just take just ever so slightly. The plastic's going to bend. Unless it gets really wild and hairy, it's not going to break. So just like a little shaving off. And then what I usually do is I will also come in here at an angle and just kind of shave off just a little bit of the peg as well. So that there's now kind of an angle here. And that's just going to allow the glue a little space so that when you put the head on, when you put the chest piece on, it's not going to push out. So again, real light. If you're applying a lot of pressure, that just means your blade is dull. Just go through a couple swipes. Just really take off just a little bit. And then just kind of cut down. Just to relieve some of that. There, and that's it. This guy is ready to get glued up. So we'll pop his chest piece back in there. And we'll drop a little dab of glue. Right along that pin and right into that socket. And those nibs right there, because those nibs are going to go into chest piece right there. It'll be nice and glued up. And a little piece on the pin. And I usually try to get some in the pin. And you got some time before the glue is gonna kind of dry up on you. So you're good to go. I know, like dead air on a radio. There we go. Got it. Push that in there. Push it in pretty good. Because like I said, it's going to want to push out until that glue really kind of hardens. So you just got to hold it in there, give it a count to 10 or so. And let that glue kind of start to cure for you. Otherwise, let's see, I don't know. You'll see it push out. No? Just a bit. So we'll just hold that in. But yeah, like I said, you can find this probably at a local hobby store. It's pretty good. It does what it needs to do. And like this, I can't ever find anywhere but online. I don't know why. It's really good. That brush here. Yeah, that's locked in there now. I'll show you real quick. And you don't really get it. It's not a big problem. But I mean, that is just so noticeable. Quite a difference in size, and this is just really what you're looking for. That big one I think is made more for like maybe model rockets or something, but like I said, really hard to find for me. None of the hobby stores around here carry it, thanks to, you know, the place you're probably going to order it from putting everybody out of business. But oh well. The only other place on this guide where I might put some glue is just a little dab in there, but the arms are going to be glued in pretty well. So you see there's still a little bit of play, but not much. And you might want to put a little bit of glue where these cables come around. Just kind of glue and hold it there. I think I'll do that right now, because that it gets to be fiddly when you're painting. You start painting these cables, you're gonna wish that that had a better hold. And as you can see, you just need to kind of take them apart real quick. Just let that glue get in there. And then I think I might cheat. I think I've got a, yeah. There's small pliers here. There. Hold those together. That's another nice little thing to have. You can find a set online. A whole bunch of different pliers. It does help when you got to do things like this. And just hold it there for a few seconds while the glue sets in. Like I said, this is all a push fit model. You can definitely just push these guys together and go. But I do like to throw some glue on them just so they stay a little. And see, that came right off. I'll hold it a little longer. But let's see. Yeah, the glue will definitely, especially if you're going to paint it, because like I said, these pieces push fit. They can wiggle around on you, and you don't really want that while you're painting. You want to be able to paint something that's it's not moving around. And I noticed I got the volume or issue 2 and 3 in the mail. It was here on Monday, Tuesday, and they've got the next 6 models. There's 3 more Necrons and 3 more Marines. They are all push fit, kind of single pose push fit models. So we're probably going to glue those in as well. All right, and then, oh boy, this is where you want that small brush, but you can make do. Swirl it around in there. And then there. Oh, that was a lot easier with the glue. All right, so there's our boy. Now, I have not glued him to his base. I don't know, sometimes I like to do the bases separate without the model on it, but I'll probably go ahead and glue this guy to the base. All right, and like I said, what I would do is, let this dry for an hour or so. But before you put on a primer, base coat, primer, spray can, whatever you're going to do, I'd just run some more hot water, put in a little bit of dish soap, and just kind of let this guy sit in there, kind of swirl it around a little bit, because you're going to have greasy little fingers, and that primer coat may not adhere all that well with the oils from your fingers, and there could be some leftover oils from the casting process too. So it's just a good idea to just get this guy in a little bit of hot soapy water and get all that off. All right, so that's the end of our Necron Warden. He's ready to go. Paint, play, whatever you would like to do. If you have any questions, just put it down in the comments and I'll try to get to them. All right. Thank you very much.